Zayas versus Boots. Instant reaction. Total demolishment. Boy, that was a beatdown if I ever seen one. He tried to punch with the puncher. Got his shit cracked. Demolished. Dropped in the first round. Dropped in the 5th round. And stopped in the 7th round.
Partnership with DAZN brings the fight every month, and it starts in Cleveland. Abdullah Mason defends his WBO World Lightweight title against undefeated Albert Bell. Can't wait.
Never ever punch with the puncher. From round one, I'm like, what are you doing? You need a box, son. You need a box. Move around. But you know, you're undefeated. You're young. You're the bigger man. You know, that was the wrong game plan. No excuses. No excuses. We ain't gonna talk about tainted waters. No, 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 no.
Unified WBA and WBO Super Welterweight Champion of the World, Jaron.
Boots. Ennis. And the new
Jaron Ennis. He told us what he was going to do, and he did it. A fantastic performance, and he went in the trenches. A fan-friendly fight.
Boy, what a beatdown.
That we won't soon forget, and he did it in a packed-out house here in Brooklyn. And now he's standing.
Xander landed a couple of shots, even got him hurt, I think in like the 2nd round, but he continued to punch with the puncher. That's a horrible, horrible game plan.
You heard that just now.
Boots just walked him down in the 3rd round, dropped him in the 5th round, walked him down in the 6th round, and stopped him in the 7th.
Win by knockout before. We've seen you dominate fights before. We've never seen you have to dig as deep as you had to in this fight tonight. What was it like in there?
I was enjoying myself. I was having fun, putting on a show for the fans, and I got the job done. I appreciate Xander Zayas for taking this, because he didn't have to. great young, hungry champion. He's going to be a champion again.
In previous fights, we've seen Xander kind of stick and move.
He tried to stick and move, not enough. He tried to stick and move when he was hurt. That's when he tried to stick and move. That's a little too late. That was the wrong game plan. But, I understand he's young, he undefeated, he's the bigger man, he's the champion, you know what I'm saying? And, he put it on the line and, you win some, you lose some, you know what I mean? It is what it is. It is what it is. Shout out to Boots Ennis. He stuck to his game plan. He ain't changed nothing. Walked him down. Body shots. Head shots. And Xander Zayas was just there to get hit. He was just there. He tried to bang with the puncher. That's not going to work out for just about anybody, let me tell you. Hold up, hold up. Here we go. No, it's not playing. It's not playing. Let me try it one more time. Hold on. But yeah, that was the worst game plan ever, son. Because in the first couple rounds, after the first knockdown, I don't think he was really all that hurt in the first knockdown. You know what I mean? In the first round. But then he continued to try to bang with this guy. And he got the legs. He got the legs to move, but he wanted to bang with him, and it is what it is. It is what it is. Got the biggest beatdown of his life. Hashtag no lie. He's still young. You know what I mean? You want the best versus the best. You know what I'm saying? He didn't give you no marination, no 4 years, 5 years marination. You know what I'm saying? You want the best versus the best. It is what it is. We still haven't gotten Wilder versus Joshua. Joshua's trying to get out the fight. Because Turki Al-Sheikh wants to fight in the USA to maximize the dollars. And Joshua and Slave Master Edit are talking about they want it in the UK. I mean, it belongs in the UK. Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. It is a UK fight. It would be kind of like kind of like fucked up to like, you know what I mean, bring that shit to America, the big honcho, the big dollars to Vegas, you know what I mean, and leave all the UK fans that have been following Tyson Fury, following Anthony Joshua for like 10 plus years, you know what I mean, that would be kind of shitty. But you know, I wouldn't put it past them though. I mean, Hair Plug Edit's not paying the bill, Turkey's paying the bill, and you know what I mean, they put a lot of money into boxing. They want to recoup some of that money. You know what I mean? They want to recoup some of that money. If they want to recoup the money, they know where the money's at. The money's in America. It is what it is. It is what it is. The money's in Vegas. You know what I mean? It don't matter how many fucking people you put in O2 Arena. You know what I mean? 80,000, 100,000, 150. Them tickets is like $15. You know what I'm saying? Those are not $2,000 tickets. You know what I mean? The biggest gates, the biggest fights always happen in Vegas. It is what it is. It's the U.S. market. It's the big honcho, America. You know what I mean? So, you know, I don't know. I don't know. They might try to use that to pull out the fight. They really don't want the fight. Anthony Joshua never, ever wanted no Tyson Fury. He never wanted no Deontay Wilder. I'm hearing that Usyk dropped the belt, and that Usyk is he dropped the belts to have one last fight against Deontay Wilder. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I mean, why else will he drop the belts though? You know what I'm saying? He don't want to pay the sanctioning fees. He want to have one last fight. I've heard it's Deontay Wilder, and he want to retire. You know what I mean? I can't really blame the guy. Whooped on Anthony Joshua twice. Whooped on Tyson Fury twice. Whooped on Daniel Dubois twice. What else is there? What else is there for him to do? I mean, it's kind of like a shame in a way that, you know what I mean, a cruiserweight. We're gonna get a cruiserweight, the all-time great Alexander Usyk versus Deontay Wilder before Anthony Joshua. We should have been gotten the Anthony Joshua fight, but you know, boxing is like that. You know what I mean? They were also talking about Canelo versus Mbibili. You know what I mean? You know, I turned on Canelo after he turned on the American fan base, after he turned on the Mexican fan base and went to go fight in Riyadh on Cinco de Mayo. I just gonna let that slide. You know what I mean? I really don't give a fuck what Canelo does. I'm not watching no more Canelo fights. I mean, I don't, you know, Mbibili, are you serious? You know what I mean? After ducking David Benavidez, you can't even give us our dates in America where they belong. I don't even care about that fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm more looking forward to the Tuma versus Hrgovic than I am the Canelo and Mbibili. That's like a payday. I can't believe Canelo just like ended his career like that. But I mean, for the money, you know how niggas be. I mean, look at Adrian Broner twerking out in his underwear. You know what I mean? For $5,000, you know what I mean? For a stream. Niggas do all types of shit for money. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It is what it is. But shout out to Xander Zayas. He gave you the fight. Shout out to Boots Ennis. He delivered. You know what I mean? Undefeated. Got like a 90-something% knockout rate. I mean, who's he going to fight next, though? Who's he going to fight next? I mean, he deserve to stay busy though. He deserve to stay busy, no doubt. But by the end of this year, sometime get us stay busy, like in the next 4 months or so. You know what I mean? Don't take too long. We want a big fight. We want a big fight by the end of the year. Fundora, you know I'm the general, the president. I'm the general and the president of the Sebastian Fundora fan base. I said Errol Spence will never take that fight. Ducking. I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he's back though. You know, that's my man, Big Fish. But I said it back then when I saw him in the ring with Fundora. I said, that's not for you, Errol. Chill. We saw what he did to Tim Tszyu twice. We saw what he did to Erickson Lubin. Boy. And I said it even before this fight. If you go back to my videos, I said I had Sebastian Fundora whooping on Xander Zayas, whooping on Errol Spence, whooping on Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford retired because of Sebastian Fundora. Hashtag, they offered him the fight. He said, chill. I want to sell out Canelo for the money. You know what I mean? Terrence Crawford is not like 50 years old like Floyd Money Mayweather. He can still come back, get that work with Sebastian Fundora, crack like $10 million at least. You know what I'm saying? He don't want that smoke. He don't want that smoke. You know what I'm saying? He don't want none of that smoke. Keith one-time Thurman, he wanted to get a payday and retire. You saw what happened to him. Got his shit rocked, destroyed, demolished. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody want to go over the PBC and face the Mexican grasshopper, Sebastian Fundora. Let me tell you, I might be the only one. I might be the general, the president, and the manager of the Sebastian Fundora fan base. But I said it years ago. That 7-foot grasshopper is a problem. You saw what he did to Tim Tszyu. Busted him up. You saw what he did to Keith Thurman. Does Jaron Boots Ennis want that smoke? You know he got connections with Al Heyman. They can make that fight. They can make that fight at 154. Right now. Next. He does deserve to stay busy. You know what I mean? He does deserve to stay busy. But they can make that fight. They can make that fight. I don't want to hear nothing about, you know what I mean, promoters or this or that. You know what I'm saying? Who's Sebastian Fundora gonna fight next though? You know what I'm saying? They both could get a stay busy. Make that big fight towards the end of the year. That's what I want. That's what I want. I want Sebastian Fundora versus Jaron Boots Ennis in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? I can't really think about anybody else at 154 that you know what I mean, that I want. You know what I mean? And I want Shakur Puerto Rican Stevenson versus Gervonta Davis. Those are the only fights I really kind of want right now. You know what I mean? Of course, I want Wilder to smash Anthony Joshua, but I don't think that fight ever happens. That fight might just never, ever happens. You know what I mean? Otherwise, Wilder would be waiting, getting another stay busy, not fighting Usyk, and waiting for the Anthony Joshua fight. But I don't think that fight's ever gonna happen. Shame, shame, shame. Milking the cow, Anthony Joshua ducking for life. I'm looking forward to the Errol Spence, the Tim Tszyu. That's a good fight. They're saying that Errol Spence is washed. They're saying that he's getting knocked out, that he's getting stopped by Tim Tszyu. That could possibly happen. 2 years out the ring, kind of a little rusty, but you know I'm team Big Fish all day. And you know I got Errol Spence. I got Errol Spence in that one. You know what I mean? I hope that he got more boxing. I hope that he got more boxing, more footwork, more jab, more hand speed. You know what I'm saying? And I would welcome Terrence Crawford coming back, but you know Terrence Crawford is just an opportunist. You know what I mean? We're not taking nothing away from that win, but it's one win. He had one win. You know what I mean? I mean, Canelo, I mean, you know, it counts. It counts, no doubt. It counts, you know what I mean? But, I mean, Canelo flat-footed as hell, son. You saw what Mayweather did to him. And no, Mayweather's not broke. Stop with the nonsense. You saw what Mayweather did to him. You saw what Bivol did to him. You know what I mean? I mean, come on now, you know. You got really one win, which is the Errol Spence. We're not going to take nothing away. We're not going to talk about flipping Ferraris. We're not talking about, you know what I mean, he was smoking weed or drunk. We're not talking about none of that. We're not taking none of that. We're not having no type of excuses. But you got one win. You know what I mean? The whole time that PBC was throwing everybody against everybody, right, at PBC, when you had Errol Spence versus Porter, Porter versus Danny, Danny versus Errol Spence, Danny versus Thurman, you know what I mean? You had the welterweight division, which was everybody against everybody, right? That whole time, Terrence Crawford is over there fighting Ndangos and Postolos and, you know what I mean? And you beat Errol Spence, no doubt. But this one win. And then, you know, you got a payday against Canelo and then retired. I mean, come on now. The nigga not like 40-something, you know what I mean? Whatever, man. Whatever, man. Whatever, man. I was never a Terrence Crawford fan. I'm never going to be a Terrence Crawford fan. You know what I mean? Because that's an opportunist right there, son. You know what I mean? And Dangos and Postolos and Whatever. Shout out to Boots Ennis. Shout out to Zayas. This is how it should be. Best versus best. No marination. No 3 years of fucking, you know what I mean? Marination and negotiations and who's getting 50 and 45. I don't give a fuck about none of that and then these niggas' money. You know what I'm saying? Just want to see the fights. So shout out to Xander Zayas. Shout out to Boots Ennis. It is what it is. It is what it is. This is what the fans deserve. They deserve the best versus the best in their prime. They don't want to hear no negotiations, marinations. This ain't a motherfucking kitchen. You know what I'm saying? Hit the like button, leave a comment, and share. Thank you.